welcome.
Oh, thanks. So yeah, well. So Mr. Pete.
Yeah.
Peter, Danish Pete.
Danish Pete.
Earl of Daneland.
The Earl of Daneland. Was that
Johnny,
Earl of
He's
Daneland?
very proud of
It's now residing on my Instagram, Earl of Daneland as well. I think I put it on there.
How
It is.
excited he was when you did that.
It was so cool. It was so cool, and that is now.
Details.
It's the small details. Yeah,
But it's not really a small detail. It's a big detail.
it's a big detail.
Now it's on your Instagram.
It's now. I am now Earl of Daneland, and who started the whole Daneland? I think it might have been Mick Taylor from that pedal show. That was the where are you from, Danish Pete? Because I get that a lot. You yes. What language do you speak, Danish Pete? And you look around and you go, okay, well, you have a guess, you know. It's
Irish.
yeah. It was actually, I think that was it was when I did my first tour here was Atomic Kitten, and that was Liz, one of the singers, and she said, "Where are you from, Danish Pete?" Because I had that name. I was.
So where did Danish Pete come from? Like, was there another Pete? Non-Danish Pete?
Yeah.
No, I was doing some stuff in Denmark, Copenhagen. Gary Wallace, like a drummer who played for Pink Floyd. He was like percussion player in Pink Floyd. He played for loads of people. He's the MD for a lot of stuff. He was over in Copenhagen to do Aqua's album. So they got him over to do some stuff, and we had a friend, you know, that Alex, which were the tour manager of Aqua, and Gary needed a guitar player, and I'd done some work with Alex and another band and he said, "Oh, we've got this guy, he needs a guitar player, you know, go and do this thing." And I was like, yeah, I'll turn up. So it was, I don't know if it was Aqua, I can't remember, or it was one of the, maybe Rene Diff, you know, the rapper guy. And he was the one that basically started the Danish Pete thing. And I don't know why that became they started it, and I was over here doing stuff, and this is Pete, he's Danish, and it just became Danish Pete already then, 2003, 2.
Right.
So
Because when I met you,
yes,
it wasn't Danish Pete, it was just Pete.
Pete. Yeah, well it's, yeah.
But I'm not saying that you weren't Danish Pete, but you didn't introduce yourself as Danish Pete.
No, that has only become a thing after the YouTube. But it was I've always been Danish Pete, but only to that group of people.
Yeah.
So we were four. You know, I did the first gig. I don't know how the whole thing. If you want to hear that story, but so Gary was the one that I did the stuff with in Copenhagen, and I knew we talked, and he was saying I've played with these guys, and somebody was going, he's the guy that plays for all of these amazing cats, and he played with Tom Jones for like a long time, and I just sort of casually said, if you ever need a guitar player in the UK, give me a bell. And he's like, yeah, absolutely, thinking nothing of it. And I was doing a Madonna tribute band somewhere in Copenhagen. There's a lot of tribute acts in Denmark. It's all about the tribute acts all around. So I got a call. I'm setting up my gear then. Hey, it's Gary. It's like, hey man, what's going on? Do you want to come and do a gig with me in the UK? Yeah. I was like, yeah man, that would be cool, you know, because we got on really well. And so and he's like, oh yes, Tom Jones at the Brit Awards. And I'm like, can we swear on this show? Yeah. He's like, oh fuck off, you know, because nobody gets that call.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I really want you to come and do it, and you know, I've spoken to the guys and Tom and the management, and they've heard you play, and they want you to come and do the Brit Awards. And like, okay, sure. And I kind of just thought nothing, that it would never happen, you know, because it was just like, that shit never happens to anyone.
Dream cool.
Yeah.
But you don't believe in when it comes.
Exactly. Well, that's it. You know, right. And then got on with my gig, you know. And next, as I know, come back, there was an email. This is 2003, so there was no, you know, there was no Facebook, and there was pre all of this kind of stuff, which I can imagine sometimes it's probably for the best. But So he said, oh, we'll sort it all out, and you come over, and just bring a couple of guitars. We'll sort out the plane ticket and the hotel, and this was all, and there was me going to the airport, still not believing. I got the whole sheet and the itinerary, and I've never had that before. I've done gigs in Denmark with sort of big Danish artists, but never. It's Denmark is so small. It's always you get on a tour bus and then you drive out to your gig and then you drive home again because it's never more than 5 hours away. So, but anyway, so I just went to the airport. There's a ticket. Oh, yeah, on the plane, and get in a taxi, a hotel, and next day taxi turns up, or like a driver turns up, takes me to Music Bank.
Right. Okay.
Which it's
the old Music Bank.
Yeah,
when
out
it was down
in
at wherever, Tower Bridge.
Yeah, and as somebody who's never really done a production rehearsal, because that's not. It is again, Denmark is quite small. It does happen, and we do have, but not in anywhere near that kind of thing. And just turn up there, and somebody goes, "Hey, I'm Neil or whatever." I can't remember who it was because it's quite a long time ago now.
16 years ago.
It is 16 years ago. So anyway, so hey, can I have your guitars? And he set it up, and there's the whole, Jody Lynn Scott on the percussion, and you got the 5-piece brass, all the hot, the players, and just goes into, but up, and you're like, what am I doing here? So, but Gary's like, that's great, and he basically called me ever since. So we've done so much stuff together after that, but so that was my introduction. Gary introduced me as Danish Pete. So this is Pete from Denmark, Danish Pete, and it's just kind of stuck within the circle. And there was we were like 4 musicians that all did all of that stuff together, and we kind of continued doing, he called for some other gigs, and then there was like Atomic Kid and Girls Aloud, a lot of pop bands, and like some Blue and Westlife and Little Devo, and it was all that, and then there was Tom Jones, and so but it was always the same little 4 or 5 guys.
I feel like you must have met my friend Rusty, the guitar tech. Had like a mental haircut that was sort of combed forward, like kind of talks like that, and from Bristol, because he was doing Girls Aloud for a while around the time that you must have been doing.
Yeah, I was 2005.
And was the guitar world kind of buried underneath the steps at the back of the stage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it was. That time was a little. That's when I met Chloe on the Girls Aloud tour. She was the makeup artist.
Okay.
And we met on the tour bus the first day, and it was like, this is gonna happen,
Yeah.
And we're married now, 3 kids, but so it did happen. But that took probably more of my attention than anything else that was happening on that tour. But it rings a bell. But I had Andrew Burns, which was another guitar tech that I've used for a lot of the stuff, which is a great guy. But again, it's a long time ago, and a lot of stuff has happened, But again, who gets the call? Some Danish bloke that it's completely.
Yeah. You never also auditioned for anything.
No.
It was kind of just
I
a
never.
circle of.
I never did.
Did you turn it off?
Aircon noise.
Yeah.
Might be slightly better.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's fine.
It's the middle button.
Yeah, I'm just. I can see the on/off button. I'm just reticent to press it.
Oh no! Don't do it.
Right.
It's okay, Pete.
What were we saying? Auditions? Nope. No. I never did any auditions for anything. Really.
It's been quite a common thing. Like speaking to people, like especially in the session world, it's kind of there'll be somebody that you trust, and that they're going to do the job, and you just call them.
Yeah, I think that's once you got the people that you know and trust, and they're going to do the job, then you don't need that's
why would you use anyone else?
Why would you do that? I mean, then you're into looks, and
which is insignificant.
It's not insignificant. I've had is things where you don't get the gig because you don't look a certain way, or you look too young, or you look too old, or whatever, and you're going, hang on, is it a playing thing? Or so I think sometimes auditions can be a little bit, you know, it can be what do we look like together in the band, you know? And it's like, you know, I just like to play guitar at the end of the day.
But in some of the really big pop gigs, like certainly over the weekend on Pyramid, they had stuff set up and the musicians were behind that. So
yes.
Like they can kind of see out.
Yes.
But you're not really aware of stuff like Janet Jackson. I think
they were under they had the things you could walk across and then underneath. Yeah, I've had, you know, I've been on gigs like that. Not when.
Is that, as a musician, is that better or worse?
You are in the dark.
Your pants in there.
Sit down and you could. Maybe you won't keep the gig or get it again. You know, maybe they like it. You know, who knows? But I did a tour in Germany. The last tour I did was with a woman called Helena Fischer, which is nobody knows about her here, but she is huge in Germany and in the German-speaking countries. She's like Katy Perry. We did a first arena tour, and then we did a stadium tour. I mean, we're just talking 2 gigs in like Berlin Olympic Stadium, like sold out.
That's
and
a lot of people.
Huge. She's massive. You know, she's on the list of the highest paid female artists, a top 10 list, like where Beyonce and all these, you know, are. And we did a gig, and we were quite prominent on the. We have 17 people in the band, so it's a huge band, you know.
17.
Yeah, so strings, singers, percussion, drums, 2 guitars, 2 keyboard players, you know, massive. And was there 12 dancers or something like that? You know, massive, you know. And I know I didn't do the tour after that because I was like I was on tour with her, production rehearsals, and Chloe gave birth to Scout, so my 3rd daughter, while I was watching the whole thing on FaceTime in a hotel in Düsseldorf. And I was like, I have to just stop this shit, because it's just too much, man. That was the drop that basically made me kind of pull back a bit, because that tour happened just as I started doing the Andertons stuff.
Okay.
And
so
you
were kind of splitting it between trying to segue out of sessions.
Yeah, I just think that I'd done some other stuff for West Side, like Martin demonstrator guy up and down the country, just to try to see if there was, if I could sort of put it away a little bit, because, you know, I don't know if a lot of people ask what's it like to being a session musician, and it's not easy, man. You know what I mean? It's feast or famine, and there's always somebody who is either better than you, or that charges less money than you, or, you know, so that it's really difficult. And there's so many great players, you know. I wasn't Instagram when I started, you know. It wasn't Facebook was just started. It wasn't YouTube, but it's just started up, you know. And a lot of people get their work now through all that stuff, you know. And then there wasn't that sort of thing, and now it's all about, you know, how many Instagram followers do you have? I feel like it's not necessarily what can you bring to the party, you know? But I just thought I needed to get out of it, and that was the thing, to see your daughter get born.
It's a reality check.
You just go, you know what, this is not worth the struggle. Yeah, because it's not easy to be a session musician. I think people need to, it's fun, man, to get to tour the world, to get to play on big stages in front of, you know, thousands of people with big lights and big stages, and you know, all that stuff I feel really privileged and #blessed, you know, to that I've been able to do that, and lucky, because there was one phone call for me that changed the whole thing, you know. I never had a plan that was what's going to happen. You know, some people got the plan. Yeah. I just thought I'd just like to play a bit of guitar.
So when in your life I saw that photo of your dad's 70th happy birthday?
Yeah,
with a trumpet.
Yeah.
But when did you kind of discover that you had music in you and you wanted to play something?
My mum had an old nylon string Oscatella lying around the house, and it was never really a thing. But I think when I was about 11, I think, and I went to this. It's called a free school, and there was 50 students in the whole school. So it was like a school started by parents that didn't necessarily want you to go to the public kind of school. Public is a different thing here than it is in my public school.
Well, it doesn't. We don't mean what we say.
No,
in England, you don't. Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Means that's a terrible idea. It's a public school.
Yeah.
No, it's
no,
private.
it's not. Yeah, you have to pay for it still. What? But mine was it's a free school, but it was a private school, but it only cost 70 quid a year, a month or something crazy.
Right.
But it was really small. So we had this. We would go to parents and kids camp kind of thing.
Okay.
and we would just go and rent some. They would rent like a spider. What do you call Scout hut?
Okay.
Scout hut for the weekend or whatever, and everybody would just pile in there. And there was a guitar lying around, and I was just picking it up and playing. I was probably been like 10, 11 or something. And one of the dads was everybody was kind of musical in the whole school or something,
Because it was that kind of school.
Yeah, it was that kind of school, and I picked the guitar up, and he was like, "Oh, here's a chord, here's an E chord, here's an A chord, here's a B," and I just, it was really natural. Everything was really natural.
It came naturally.
Yeah, and then the school, because it was that kind of school, they had a music room, and I was interested in drums. My first thing was drums because it made a noise, I could slam it, and there's a good groove in it. And my cousin, my mum's cousin's son, which is kind of my cousin, whatever, is his dad and him are great drummers. I mean, and I've always been fascinated with what they did. But my granddad plays instruments, violin. I forgot to say, and piano and stuff. But anyway, so I picked the guitar up, and they were like, "If you want to," the school went, "Here's the keys for the music room. So anytime there's a free, what do you call it? Free time between, you can just go and help yourself." And that was really cool, And the other dad that showed me these chords, like, Pete needs to get some. I need to give him some lessons, because he's, So it was Blackbird the first thing, and it was like boom, boom, boom. Just that was easy. And it kind of natural. It was just a natural thing. That was. And then there's another. I got some more lessons from somebody else, and then I just started doing a few gigs here and there, and some of my friends, and it's just rolled into. It was just really natural. I never really practiced because I wasn't interested in practicing. I just liked to play, So I just played, and then there was my friends were playing. One was playing bass, and the other guy was playing drums, and we just get a band together, and we just kept coming to this pub and do a gig, and they just went, "Yeah, you can, come on, boys, here's £5 each," and we were just happy, and
So when you say you didn't practice, did you use rehearsals as your practice time?
Yeah, it was more just,
let's go and have some fun.
Yeah, let's just go and practice.
Let's go and practice playing.
Not go
together.
There was all that stuff later on when I started studying stuff. But I think a lot of that's another thing. I talk to people on Instagram now, and they're like, how do I get this, and how do I become an Instagram guitar player, and how do I become a YouTuber? And I'm like, yeah, but do you want to be? Why don't you get a band together?
Yeah.
You're sitting at home go and play with people. If you want to be a proper guitarist or musician, you have to play with people. You have to get a band.
Do you think some of it is about making effort? Because when you see it on Instagram, it's all like, I mean, the kind of the whole artifice of that social media thing, that it can tend towards anyway.
Yeah.
And it feels like it comes really easily. Like, all he has to do is sit down and play the guitar, and people love him, and people give him free stuff. It's amazing. He's an overnight success, and all he had to do was work for 20 years, really, really, really hard. And no one sees all of that. They think it just comes like that.
Yeah, but some people on Instagram, or now we are, and that's all. They just sit there and they're Instagram guitar players or Instagram bass players.
But they
Instagram
still had
drummers.
to put the work in.
Yeah, but some people they just want to. That's what I feel. Some people just want to do that. They don't. They want to be famous on Instagram, or which I find a bit. Times change, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, I love going out to jam, so I don't really do any big gigs anymore. But I've got some friends that we just want to do it. I've got a gig on Saturday down at whatever to this party, and I'm like, yes, because we can just go and play.
Yeah.
Have a blowout and just have a bit of fun. It's not. It's just for the.
It's not pressure. It's just for the joy.
It's just for joy of playing together.
Yeah.
Also, is that pressure of, you know, if you're playing with people, you've got to go outside and speak to people, which that comes into it. It's just like if you're famous on Instagram or YouTube, it's just you in your bedroom, your safe space, and having to push yourself outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's that maybe that's not a thing that you're good at, you know.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, let's face it, we've all had that every now, you know, once in our life. But
Yeah. I hate people.
But you know, it's that, there is that added pressure.
Yeah.
You know, so if you can get famous in the safety of your own room,
And people send you stuff.
And people send you stuff.
Yeah. And that's that I think all of that's with people getting, you know, free guitars or whatever because they're on YouTube and all that stuff. That's all great and nice, and it's, you know, but Jesus, we put so much hard work into the YouTube channel, for instance. You know, no one knew that was going to take off like that, and you know, and that YouTube or Instagram, all this stuff would be this huge. I had no idea when I started doing the Andertons stuff 4 years ago, and I'd started it because Lee was like, "We need somebody to do this stuff," and I was like, "I need a job because I've kind of stopped doing touring and that, and I just need something steady because." It's not being a session musician can be great, but I would work for maybe 8 months and then you just not work for a year.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks I still get people going, "Oh, see, Tom Jones is playing somewhere. I'm joining. Are you there? Are you going to be there?" I'm like, I haven't played with him since 2011. You know, people still think I'm doing that gig.
Yeah.
And I'm not. And that's the danger of it. You know, you're away and you go, "Oh, I'm on tour," and then you kind of get forgotten a little bit. You know.
Yeah, I suppose if you have a gig for a long time and it's one of those kind of
the big
red
ones.
letter gigs, then people just like, don't worry about Pete, he's on that gig.
Exactly. And then you know it was they changed they changed the whole thing around, and it was 4 days before we were supposed to go out and do the new. You know, a lot of time in the tour a bit, and it was like, "Oh, we're looking for somebody who looks different, and we want a different vibe," and it was like, that's it. That was just it.
Yeah,
there was just not, and then there was no work. That whole 7-8 months was just not there, and there is no, you know, there was no contract. So you're going, well, what can I do? I'm like, panic, you know, and then you know that can, you know, that I got pretty depressed for like 3 months because I didn't know what to do. I was. Didn't have any work, you know.
Yeah.
That's you have to kind of live your life assuming that your life is gonna continue in the way that it has in terms of there's gonna be money coming in.
Yeah.
And then when it's just ripped out for like if someone loses their job with no notice, that's basically what you
basically what happens. Somebody gets fired or loses their job and with no notice, and you're going, what am I going to do? You know.
Yeah. And so you're kind of counting on that money coming in to pay bills and all of that kind of stuff, and then suddenly it's like, oh, I've got all these bills and I've got no money. What's going to happen? I can't pay them.
And you tend to be, you know, it tends to be, you're kind of backwards because you're waiting to pay the tax bill, and that's kind of that's the dangerous thing. If you don't put money aside, which is that's why I just say to people that ask, just take half of what you make when you get paid a gig. Mm-hmm. Put it to one side and don't use it.
Pretend it's not yours.
Just pretend it's not there. Just put it away. And I was not good at that, you know. And one thing I wasn't good at it, but the other thing was I had to, because there was a lot of, you know, there's rent and all sorts of other stuff, and then you know you save the money up, and then maybe you don't work for 6 months. Then that money,
so you need a buffer.
You're saving that stuff, you know, and it's really difficult, you know. And so, but if you have no dependents. You know, if you haven't got, you know, if you live with your parents and you don't have any kids, you know, you're 21, by all means, try it out, go for it, you know. but you're not going to go to, you know, I see 5 years ago I would say you're not going to get the gigs by sitting in your bedroom, but now you can get the gigs from sitting in your bedroom.
Yeah.
You know, because we've had talked to people on, you know, that literally get the gig off their Instagram.
Yeah. So my brother he's a drummer, and he's got, you know, some really good gigs.
Yeah.
Off just literally his Instagram, where he just sticks his phone on the wall in the garage.
Yeah.
And just playing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And that's, you say you don't get the gigs from sitting in I went out. I used to, when I first moved to Copenhagen. I literally, somebody said I've got a room in Copenhagen, and I lived with my parents for a little bit. I had moved somewhere, studied, come back, and I was like, I'm just going to Copenhagen. So I just put, you know, my mattress on the roof, TV in the back, guitars, boom, in my old car, and drove over to Copenhagen. I had no idea where I was going. I had a friend over there. Can you help me? It was maps by then, kids. There was no sat maps or anything like that. You know, it was literally, I had to have a map out. And Copenhagen is big. If you're a Dane and you live in a small town, then Copenhagen's pretty big. And the first time you're driving there,
and there's
it's not
traffic
London. And I just turned up and I had to find this place in the middle of the night. And luckily, my friend Casper came out and he took me where I needed to go because he knew where it was. And here's your flat. Here's your room. Anyway, so we just and then next day he was like, "Do you want to come and jam at this place?" I was like, "Yeah." I go scrap my guitar out and jam, and literally the next day after that, I had my first gig. People asked, "Oh, you're great. Should we do something together?" So it was never. That was what I did. We went to this every Monday night. We jammed there for like years, you know.
Yeah.
Monday Night Music Club it was called, Ladeskiller, and we just jammed, and it formed us. A lot of those guys, it formed us as musicians. You know, we played and jammed with different people, and we just got, you know, grooving. That's really. Can you say that it formed you as a musician, as a you know, going to jam?
Experience, yeah.
You know, and I would just work. I worked in a call center. I worked, you know, as you know, in a warehouse making exit lamps. I did loads of other stuff, just to be able to go and play guitar, just to pay my rent, so I could go and play guitar. You know, and then the gigs started. The paid gigs came in, and whatever, all this stuff. You know, but it was just to go and play with my friends and get my groove on.
Yeah.
You know,
but putting yourself in a club situation like that is completely different than Instagram, because there isn't I'm just going to go and do that again. No, we're doing a gig.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to keep going.
Yeah, and if you fuck up, the best thing you can do is fuck up in front of loads of people.
Yeah.
You know, and that, you know, whether they are watching or not, you sort of go, oh no. You know, I did it last weekend. We were playing. What's it called?
Glastonbury.
No, I wish. It's a song like it's Mr. Brightside.
Oh yeah.
And we were like, I've got it. I know how to play this. But he tunes it in a different tuning, so I'm like trained to play. And I thought, I've got this one. And I just started and I messed it all up. But I looked really cool because I was figuring out. You know, there was 4 people watching, so it didn't really matter. But and they all were looking at me going, and I'm like, I'm sorry. But I messed up in style, you know, and now I know next time I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah.
You know, I've messed up we did Il Divo, and I'm playing, we had click, and it's just me and an island string guitar. And the Il Divo gig is...
oh my goodness.
Because I was asked to do the Il Divo gig by Gary and the guys first, and I was like, that's not my thing. I'm not sure I can do all the sort of pop rock kind of thing, you know, and I had my own little thing going on with it. Anyway, but I remember just playing and missing one beat in the but I didn't realize I'd missed it, and it was just me singers, but I still had the click, so it's on click, so it's a 1 and a 2 and a 3 but I came in wrong or late for some reason, I can't remember, and I remember it all come in, and then all the strings came in wrong because I had missed just one click, you know. Worst thing ever, you know, when you have got 20,000 people and you know, like a 30-piece orchestra
and the singers are
like doing off me, but we would have other stuff on track as well. So because we would travel around, so we'd have some of the stuff on the track. So we like percussion, whatever. So all of that just came in, pouring in, before it was, you know, and I'm still going. You know.
Right.
So, but you
Everyone's
learn.
a beat
But
out.
I never did it again.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You've
Yeah.
got to make mistakes to then. Yeah.
Stopping the track. Come on, just keep playing.
Yeah.
But you have to, you know.
Oh,
and one
my
thing is doing it
goodness.
at rehearsals, but you only do it once when it's serious, you know.
Yeah.
So you just learn.
Yeah, that kind of thing gets seared into your memory, doesn't
Yeah.
it? It's like, there's no way I'm doing that again. I may make any other number of mistakes, but that one I'm not going to do again.
Yeah.
I had a similar thing with Mr. Brightside. Whereas I played, we had, for some reason, I put my pick underneath the sort of over the E string and then underneath the B and G strings.
Yeah.
The guitar. Went to play it, but didn't take my pick out, and I was just like, "What the fuck's going on?" And it's like everyone was looking at me. You got like the track everything going off. It's like retune it. It's alright. Don't worry, guys. I've got this one. It's still out.
Yeah.
And the singer was like, "Don't worry, it's not usually this shit." Just, you know, oh my god.
That song is a curse, man.
Yeah.
That song is a curse. But yeah, so I think this whole thing about bedroom and all this stuff is just I think you really need to go out and experience. If you want to be a guitar player or a bass player or a drummer or whatever, you have to get out there, man.
You've got to play in front of other people.
Or play with people.
Yeah.
With people, but also in front of people. Because like you said, you learn the lesson hard
the hard
when
way,
you make a mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing I feel like one of my my Thomas, my cousin, as it were, I remember when I was like 18 or 17 or something, and there was a lot of that. Oh, I can do that. You know. Huh?
Sorry, so
You know, people got this attitude, you're really young attitude, and like, oh, I can do that. Why am I not doing this gig and all of this sort of stuff? And you're a bit sort of big-headed and all that stuff. And he was like, "Dude, man, you just need to just be cool, because if you can, it'll come when it's your time. Just wait in line, and if you're good enough, and then it'll just happen.
Be ready when you get the opportunity.
Or you might say to the wrong people, "Ah, man, that guitar player's shit. I can do it much better than him." And it might be the guitar player's best friend or somebody in the band, and then you're not gonna ever get that gig.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just all about be nice.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
even,
Be nice, it goes
but
back to
even
that.
for yourself,
Yeah.
like it's not good if you're saying I could do it much better than that guy.
Yeah. No.
You have no idea what's
No.
going on with that guy on that day.
No.
Yeah.
Like maybe he can do it better as well. He's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
having a bad day. Maybe
Yeah.
you've dropped a click.
Yeah. yeah. But it's a young person's
course
way
it
of
is.
thinking, isn't it? But I feel like a lot of people just seem much more grown up now. I mean, even my kids. I feel like when I was 11, I wasn't.
You're quite immature.
I'm like, what? You two, what? Everybody's so much more grown up. I feel, but maybe it's just rubbish. But it's all of this social media and everything. Everything is so near all the time, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything to look at whether it could be a bad thing. I mean, I've got girls, so you know, them looking at other Instagram posts and all this stuff might be bad. I don't know. I'm not there yet, but
Yeah, I mean that goes. I think I've said it a million times, but it's that you see everyone's life as perfect.
Yes.
On that, and that's so unhealthy because nobody's life is perfect.
you only see the good things.
Yeah.
You only see the good takes of the guitar, or the guy singing, or the girl singing, or the girl playing the guitar. It's always the good licks.
Yeah.
There's never any mistakes.
Yeah.
And then people go, I'm not that good. I'm just going to put my guitar away. And that's not the point. That's not why I do it. I do it to inspire people to pick their guitar up.
Yeah.
That's why we do when we do the videos. It's like, if we can get like 2 or 3 guys to go, "Oh, man, I have to play my guitar now." That's just great, you know.
Yeah.
That's what you want. That's what I want to put out there with whatever we do.
Constructive rather than destructive.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, you know. And I don't know if that reflects onto, you know, to do other things, but it should do.
Well, I think you should. It should reflect in everything you do. It's
Yeah.
like you're not there just to sell guitars, for example. If you were just there pushing guitar sales, I don't think you would sell guitars.
I don't do that. I don't. In the videos we do, I don't do it to sell the guitars.
No.
I know that that's a byproduct. We do these epic deal videos, which is if there is a deal on, we go, hey, there's this, and you want it, it's half price, and that's kind of, it can be a bit QVC, but it is just for us, it's another media for Andertons to sell stuff, like putting on an Instagram or put it on Facebook or whatever. YouTube is the same thing. You can put your stuff on there,
Yeah. But people can tell when you're being genuine about
Yes.
Just wanting to, you just like enjoy playing guitar.
Yeah.
That's it. You know?
That's what we. It's who. You know, when we started the job 2015, end of 2015, it was literally Lee going, "There's a room over there. Here's a couple of Canon cameras. Can you just see if we can do something with this YouTube channel?" And I'm like, I've got no idea of how to film stuff, how to edit stuff. So luckily, Chloe's dad is a director, and I had his help. He came down and looked at some light stuff,
really?
and he's a proper commercial director. And all her side of the family all works in either editing or films or that kind of thing. And so he was like looking, and I'm like, "We put the lights up here, and we put stuff on there, and this is how you should do this and that." I just had no clue. And Mick Taylor was really good help. And then just doing it. First thing you need to have on YouTube is thick skin.
Yes.
For all of you guys who wants to be.
Yeah.
Because people will just tear you down, even though they have got no idea what they're talking about, or no clue. So thick skin is, and then I would shoot 10 videos in a day of just me playing guitar and just putting the editing, get them up there, and start
So it's a
consistency thing.
It's slogged.
But when people started commenting good comments and I've got my guitar out now, I'm playing it more, and then it's really worth it,
Yeah.
Those you tend to skim through the comments and you go, "Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's a shit one," and then you feel really bad about that
1%.
one bad one out of 100.
Yeah.
One person, and you get really upset about it, Anyway, I think I'm skipping around in the conversation.
No, that's all good. No good. I mean,
There's no set path.
Right, that's the way I talk usually, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all over the shop.
Yeah.
But it's definitely just in the last 3 years of doing this, coming out the other side of touring and being away from everything for so long. I think I was away for like 3 months in doing a South America and then Asia, Australia tour, and there's no way of going home. There's no way of getting your family out. You're just away for 3 or 4 months. It's really hardcore, man. It is hardcore. It's strain on relationships. It's strain on friendships, and you have to be with the same people every single day, and on yourself, mental health, all that stuff. It's definitely not an easy job. It's a job.
How did you find it sleeping? Did you do big time zone jumps as well?
No, they were always the tour that we did, the couple of world tours we did and the European stuff or whatever. It's always been planned after. Almost you go to America and start, and then you just go around like that. There's been a few occasions where you fly to New Zealand to do one gig, and then you completely messed up afterwards. Fly into America to do one gig, and then literally fly home the next morning. There's been a few of those kind of crazy things. You just go, what the hell is going on? You play 2 songs at some random festival in Chicago somewhere. And you just
so is that like a corporate?
We've done corporate stuff, we've done weddings with Tom. People were hiring for a wedding. And we would fly to Canada to do a wedding and then fly back again.
Wow.
Yeah, mental, but
How did you sleep when you were on tour? This is a bit of a hobby horse. Of mine.
No, it's
sleeping. When I was away over the weekend.
Yeah.
There were 3 dance tents right near where we were, and I was like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah.
Because I love sleeping enough.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very sensitive to noise because obviously that's my job. That's what I'm involved in.
Yes.
And I thought when they were going, I was like, well, when do they finish? Maybe I could survive 3 o'clock. Okay. And I put earplugs in. And lay down on Friday night, and I was like, okay, well, I might, if I get 4-5 hours, then maybe I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I think I got 6.5 hours, and I've got a sleep monitor thing on my watch.
Yeah.
And more deep sleep than I normally have. Just from... I sleep like a baby.
Oh, really? I've always been good at not sleeping very much.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm good with not sleeping a lot, and always have been. I'm still good.
So what's an average night?
I don't know. I mean, it all depends really. I mean, I can have 3 hours and I'll be fine the next day. It'll eventually it'll take its toll.
Like that.
You know, I can also drink a bottle of wine and then get up the next morning really early and I can feel fine. So I don't know if it's just me. I've never had. I don't sleep very well on. I used to not be able to sleep on planes or buses or all that stuff.
Right. So if you're moving, you don't sleep.
But I kind of got used to it. You know, when you're in a sleeper bus and you have to sleep on a bus, then you just do it, and eventually maybe you have that bottle of wine to do it.
Yeah.
But then that's not great quality sleep because alcohol it knocks
For me,
you
it
out.
is.
It does.
I know. Obviously, get up early and they'll be fine the next day. Function completely fine. You know, I've got a lot of energy going all the time. I can probably go a couple of days without. It's been a long time since I have, but I used to not sleep till 4 o'clock. You know, and then get up again. It'll be fine. But
well, if you want to frighten yourself, read. What's it called? Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. That will scare the pants off you.
Really?
Yeah.
Why We Sleep?
It's really good. It's very good.
No,
it's really interesting.
Yeah, we should have our. Is it 8 hours or whatever? I do have the sleep monitors on the phone and all that stuff, and I do set it, and it tells me you have to go to bed now, and then 3 hours later, it's still saying you have to go to bed now. Hey, you haven't gone to bed. Come on, Pete, go to bed. Because I do get into what I do. Yeah, so that's the same with the how that I think all the effort that when I do something I'll go I like to go for it, like the YouTube channel, which has just been one of those where I'll sit up and get stuff finished. We will shoot 2 videos for the new Gibsons came out, whatever it was last time, and we shoot them in a day. I'm in the videos, I edit the videos, and at 2 o'clock I'll have them uploaded and ready for the next morning to go live. 9 o'clock, whatever. And that's just because I'm not letting this go before it's done.
Don't mess around.
Yeah.
Wow.
And and I think that's how I always have been, I think.
Is that because you like just kind of drawing a line under it, like it's done, and then I'm not jittery because I haven't finished it?
No, I don't. I just like to get stuff done.
So in the zone, finish it.
Yeah, it's funny. I had a conversation with Mick from that pedal show about this as well. And, there's certain kind of people, like there's starters, and then there's finishers, and then there's people that just noodle around and never get anything. And the starters normally never get anything done. They start stuff and then it just lies around, stuff that needs to be finished. And you have to get somebody who can finish it for you. And then sometimes there's people in between that goes, can you start that, and then can you get it finished? So they got the people, and we sort of agreed that I just get on with it all the way through if I need to. I tend some things takes me longer than others if I get distracted.
It depends. Yeah, it's
more important things.
Yeah.
From what you said so far, it seems like you are very focused on what you want to do, and that takes quite a lot of energy that some people just don't have. So I want to do music, so I'm going to move to Copenhagen. I'm just going to make it happen.
Yeah,
it's a bit like Irby.
Yes.
The world is crashing down around his ears.
Yeah,
and he's just like, right, I'm making a plan. I'm just going to keep on trucking. I'm just that's what I'm going to do, and just keep everything moving, and is always optimistic. But he's got so much energy to just keep on.
Well, he's got no plan B. He's just like, I'm just gonna do this. I can't see any other thing. I think you need that really. I mean,
we've got one goal, man. We got one. We have to make it count. You don't want to look back on your life and go, "Oh, I wish I'd done that different."
Yeah,
or I wish I'd done this. Or why didn't I?
I wish I'd put more effort into.
Yeah, or or.
You want to be the person in the old people's home that has no regrets. I mean, that's the ideal, right?
Yeah.
If you can make it that far.
Well, that's another point, because you might not make it that far.
No, exactly.
So why not have a bit of fun with it? Why not just go all in? And I think the fact is that you see my friends that I went to school with in this little town, you know, some of them are still there, and they've got kids and married, they've got a job right after and all the stuff, and they're happy, and that's fine. I just couldn't, for me, you know, like my parents are not big travelers. There was never a thing with them to go away or go on exploring and stuff. And I never really had that thing that I never really thought, oh, I'm going to go interrailing or I'm going to go to Nepal like Chloe did. I'm going to go to Australia on my own, you know. I never had that thing. But for some reason, that has always found me somehow. You know what I mean? So that whole touring, moving to a different country, it's just something that's happened. I've never gone, oh no, I can't do that because I'm happy here. I'm like, no, that's pretty interesting. Let's just see what happens. You know, just got to flow along with what I've always believed, that things happen for a reason, and you meet people for a reason, and other things don't work out for a reason, and I'm not going to dwell on that. Oh, that didn't work out. Okay, well, move on. I can't be, you know, as we say, stomach sour on some shit that happened, and I'm still going to try to get back and make that work. Because forget that. This is next, you know. Maybe some people have got that. Oh, looking back. Yeah. It is not. Let's just
keep going.
Let's truck that. Let's truck that.
That's what's coming. That's what's important. Really.
And you know, in a year, whatever it's been, whether it's been relationships or bands or whatever, it's gonna. Something else would happen. Let's move on. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe people keep the what do you call it? Too.
Baggage?
They can't. Yeah, they keep the baggage. You know, they keep all that stuff.
Yeah, you've got to let that go. You know. Otherwise, it's just. I mean, frankly, it's you're wasting time thinking about it. You're kind of slowing your life down.
Yeah.
Which, why would you want to do that?
People can drag you down as well. You know. I think. You know, it could be difficult. Even it's fun to do YouTube videos, but sometimes it's really difficult because sometimes I'd rather spend time at home, and then the grass is always greener.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and anything that becomes a job and that you want to do well is going to have times where things go really badly.
Yeah, you're gonna have to mess up, you know.
And it's going to hurt, and you're going to be full of self-doubt and all of that stuff. But you've just got. That's when you've got to keep on pushing through.
Yeah.
And people don't see the YouTubers going through that.
No, there is certainly a lot of, you know, the whole YouTube thing is also something that's gone nuts the last, you know, especially for us for the last 4 years. For me, which I never thought was going to grow to the extent that it's gone, and you become a, which I hate all of these things, like an influencer and a YouTube celebrity, or whatever. All that stuff.
You are all of those.
But it was never ever on my mind. All I wanted was have play guitar and make some money so I could feed my family. You know, that was because I needed something, and this was a really cool thing that came along. I never thought, oh, I'm gonna be on YouTube and we're gonna have, you know, 5 million views a month or whatever. We have 4 or 5 million views a month, and almost 600,000 subscribers now. You know, that was never in the thing. That was never why he did it. You know, it was because there was we'll pay you a salary every month. I was like, please, can we just do that for a little while so I can, you know, get back on track. You know, from all of this other mess.
It seems like Lee sort of trusts you to do
completely
something cool.
Completely. I mean, he completely just gone.
Which
there
is
you
great.
go. It went. Our numbers went 900% up the first year, in all of the, you know, from when before I started and when I got on board and got, you know, people in to do the videos, and we had Mick on board and do some videos, and it went up 900% with views and subscribers, and now it's trailing off a little bit because we still do our thing, you know, which is I try to add other things to make it more interesting, you know, sessions and but.
And how did, I mean, if you don't want to get into this, then don't get into it, but how did sales follow that, the YouTube channel?
I don't know that side of it. I don't know really that side of it, but of course it's definitely, the shop, I remember, you know, there's over 100 people working there now. You know, it does change. But you have to remember. So, of course, we sell on the back of videos. We do, because people trust us to say that this product is good. But the majority of people watching is not in the UK, they're in America. So it's America first, then it's the UK, and then it's the rest of the world. So the people in America, they will never buy anything. So the 37 or 8% or whatever it is of people in America will never buy anything from Andertons. They'll go to Guitar Center or wherever, and they'll buy that guitar or that Telecaster or that pedal or that other stuff. They will never buy anything from Andertons. So as much as it has helped Andertons become, you know, last year we won the best music shop in the world on NAMM's #1 music store in the world award, which it's not, you know, it's like, what the hell, a little shop. And of course it's all about promoting you, what you do, you know. So, and we won 2 years in a row. We've got an best online engagement from NAMM as well. So the awards, you know, but we put a lot of time into it. You know, we do put a lot of time into it, and it helps.
Have you got a strategy going forward to kind of expand and increase and do different things?
We've got plans, you know. There's definitely plans, but I think you know, we try to get different presenters on. You know, so we got Chappers on there, and we got Revere, and we got, you know, they do Sounds Like Matt and Revere, and then we got some bass show, and so we try to do. Then I try to do sessions. You know, we're going to try to do the thing with, you know, having people that makes the manufacturer, the makers, you know, on, and there's a lot of ideas all the time that we try to develop, but you know, we do, like yesterday, 4 videos. Normally it's 4 or 5 videos in a day, you know, and now there's 2 other people helping editing. So there's a lot. You kind of get away from all the ideas that you want to do, because then Fender brings out a new line of guitars, and you just that takes priority, and then Gibson brings out a new range, and then maybe somebody else brings out a new range. You know, but we've gone away from. In the beginning, we used to charge for videos, so it's people would go, "Here's a product, can you do that, and here's some money," and it's like, no, we don't want to do that, because we want to do what we want to do, and we want to say
what you want to say
and what we want to say, you know, and we want to have the opportunity to say no if there's a product that we don't want to do a video on, whether we don't believe in it or whether we don't think it's good enough or whatever, or for a reason.
And you don't want to put a video up saying this really is rubbish.
No, because that
doesn't help anyone.
It doesn't help
you,
anyone,
and it doesn't help the person who's made it.
No, it doesn't at all. So I think the fact that we changed that whole thing is definitely helped on the ideas we can come up with, you know. But it's not easy to you know, we have to come up with 4 ideas for tomorrow because we got these guys coming in. You're like, oh my god, what's what we need to do? You know, there's only so many shootouts you can do, or so many blindfold challenges you can. But people still love it, you know. And then you see people come up like this guy Paul Davis. Have you seen Davis? He's a guy who does lessons and stuff, like a Dutch guy, and he been following him since he had 200,000. Now he's 1.2 million in a couple. It's just gone nuts, you know. But he's such a lovely guy and so great on the camera, and he's got a thing. Yeah. And that's what you want, you know. You want that thing, and he can do that stuff. It's quite fun to see people. And then I'm going, should you do something like him? And I'm going, no, maybe not, because he's doing that. Yeah. We need to do our own thing. We are doing our own thing. To see people do the, hello, welcome to this is, and then 2 people trying to do, you know, there's that thing is become a thing, you know. But that was Rob and Lee's idea from the beginning, way back 10 years ago when they first started it, you know. When Lee first saw Rob on YouTube and went, oh, do you want to come and do some videos? I've got this idea. I've got a music shop. Let's try to do some stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do it. You know. Yeah. You should be called the captain because this is, you know. And then the next thing, you know, it just, you know. But that was all on Rob's channel. Yeah.
Right.
So all the videos then, up till when I started, went on Rob's channel. So there was rarely videos going out on Andertons. So there wasn't very many subscribers or very many 60,000, maybe 70,000, something like that when I started 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. But it just goes to show that there was a formula they came up with that we kind of planted within the Andertons channel. And then we got Rob to come over to do some videos on our channel, and we tried to work.
Cross-pollinated.
Yeah, cross-pollinated, and you know, we all good friends, man. Hey, you get to play guitar for a living, cool. and on a video, and somebody watches and goes, whatever, and you know, it's not bad, you know. It's quite fun. We have fun. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. You don't want to do a job that's not fun for 25 years.
No.
To get you go watch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you ever surprised, like you make a video and edit it and put it up, and then there's a huge reaction, either positive or negative?
Yeah. I mean,
are you ever surprised? Is there any stuff that's surprising that you just don't think is going to be interesting to people, and then it just like explodes?
Yeah, sometimes. You kind of learn the ways of YouTube thumbnails and clickbaity titles. You know, people will just click it because of the title or because of the thumbnail. We try not so much to do that, but we've done it on occasions, and it certainly works. But we don't. That's not what we do. We're not doing clickbaity videos. You know.
Yeah.
There was the Fender Acoustic Sonic video, which even Fender was like, we're not sure how big this guitar's going to be because it's a Telecaster that's like half acoustic, half, you know. And we were like, oh, this is cool. Maybe we can do something, you know. And I just came up with this one loop in the beginning of it, and it was just amazing. And it just kicked the video off into something really cool, and we really got on with the guitars. And it was like, oh, you know, Acoustic Sonic and possibly the best loop from Pete ever, or something like that, you know. And it was really good, but we never. That's video since NAMM. It's had almost 700,000 views, but in the first 24 hours, it had like 200,000 views. Wow. And we went to NAMM, and Fender went, we can't believe it, you know. And that all just, whether it was the guitar that was controversial or whether the video was really good, it's none of the other videos that on the same guitars had the same impact. So we were all surprised that just kicked off, you know.
So the loop that you came up with affected how you did the rest of the video.
Yeah, how the video. Yeah, because we were excited that there was a great loop and the jam was great. You know, that's how we always do it. You know, we start with the jam and end with the jam, because it sets this mood, if you will, for the video. And I think people like that. And for us, certainly, it really, really works because you can see when we are generally having a good time. You know, most of the time we're having a good time because we get to play guitar on YouTube and talk about it. It's not that bad, you know. But yes, they definitely set the mood for the rest of the video.
That's interesting. I think people, whether they realise it sort of in the front of their brain or not, that's the X thing that you see in the video. Like, was it Paul Davies who you were talking about? Yeah. There's an X thing and you don't know what it is, but he's excited about what he's telling you.
Yeah. There's definitely this. It's quite fun, and everybody wants to have the jams. So we just do the jams. We cut them out, do jam videos, and then people were asking, can you do them as a CD? So I started doing these backing tracks, which I've done. Just put out the 4th installment of the Andertons guitar jam tracks. You know, so I come up with when we come up with the jams, I kind of take a little bit of that and incorporate it in, but like a track people can jam along to.
Yeah.
And people love it, and it's great, and I have fun making them. That always takes a bit longer because that's kind of a side project for everything else. But it's and then people put the jams out on Instagram, and we see them, and
that's
cool.
Come up on your story.
Yeah. So and that again, it just for me, it's just inspire. I want to inspire more people to play instruments, you know, because I love seeing it.
Yeah.
You know. I'm not there to sell a guitar. I know I'm probably there to sell a guitar, but at the end of the day, I'd rather have people see somebody smile about, you know. It's not like we're millionaires or anything. You know what I mean? It's not. That's not.
Yeah. That's not why you're doing it.
Absolutely not. It would be nice, you know, to be a millionaire.
But if that was your goal, you probably wouldn't be.
I would do something. I'd probably do something else. You know, mind you, I can imagine some YouTubers, some millionaires. But whether it's guitar videos, I doubt very much.
Gamers, apparently. like
Yeah,
computer
people
game ones.
watching people playing computer games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids watch it all the time. And the weirdest one is people opening Kinder eggs.
Yeah,
It's like
man,
millions
yeah,
and millions and
yeah,
millions of views.
just toys opening,
Yeah.
unboxing videos,
Yeah.
and so there's the kids tube, the YouTube for kids. Our videos are actually on there as well.
Okay.
But so what happens is when the kids start watching on they just continue watching. That's why they got 30 million views or whatever. Baby shark, but they love it.
Yeah.
All this stuff, and you're going, oh my god, are you watching that again? So I'm thinking maybe I should do something like that instead. But that's not guitar, so no.
Yeah.
And you get to meet all these great people. It's been so cool the last 4 years, the journey of actually meeting people like you guys and just being a part of it all from a different side of
Yeah. But that's the good side about social media and all this stuff is that
Yeah.
it's so easy to connect with
Yes.
people if you really want to.
Yeah.
It's just like reach out, send a message. Yeah.
The community is great.
Yeah,
the music community is really good for that.
Yeah,
you know.
and it's just once you're, it's a great feeling of togetherness. I mean, I've said it, I've bored you with it a million times, but it's kind of like the internet. Yeah, I think people complain about it.
Yeah.
It's also made that kind of personal contact with people it come back. It's like when you lived in a village back in the old times and you knew the butcher and he was called Fred and he knew you and what you liked and he would get it in and there was a bit more of a kind of a connection there.
Yeah.
And then it went, the whole 80s, 90s thing, everything went corporate.
Yeah.
And then now, again, you've got these guys, I mean, to be honest, the people like you and me, there's like really small companies
Yeah.
that can reach out and actually have contact with the people that you're making stuff for.
Yeah.
And people can understand you alone behind the scenes and all that.
Absolutely, but that's really important, and I think we try to engage with everyone. I try to engage with everyone on Instagram, but it's getting to a point where I just can't keep up with it anymore with all of the messages. And so if anybody's listening to this, I'm really sorry if I haven't replied to your message, but it's because it is like 50,000 people and there's so many questions and stuff all the time. And I know Lee is really good on his Captain Lee Facebook thing. He literally tries to reply to everyone. Wow. And I'm like, how can you...
That's a job in itself, right?
It is a job in itself, but it is great that that people can ask you a question about that thing, You get, what instrument shall I buy? And then you reply back and they're like, oh, I didn't expect a reply back, but you're actually saying, oh, you should try this one, or maybe go and it was like, yeah, of course, and that's a cool thing, and finding people that you can meet again, like you guys, and just now hooking up and chatting, and I think cool guys it's nice guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just need to work together. Why not?
It's fun.
Yeah.
But you can do good stuff while you're having fun, and other people will get on board with it, and they'll. That was one of the things I wanted to say, that collaborations are becoming a thing.
Yes.
Or have become a thing over the last few years.
Yeah.
Where people who maybe in the past would have been competing, particularly in pedals.
Yeah.
They're doing collaborations and people love them.
Yeah.
It's something different. And
but
that's so good.
Or Boss and JHS, for instance, make one. But there's no point in not, we're all in it together at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So why not just see if we can help each other out? Help. Got the help.
Nice.
Help. Nice. I'm turning. Oh. But that's really cool, and I know that Lee is very much into British made stuff, and which is cool because there's loads of great guys doing great things, out there that deserves the break, But that, as again, I think everything happens when it needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You meet the right people at the right time, and the right thing happens, and then this happens, and if it not happens, then it might, it'll just.
Certainly, yeah. There are long balls where you're like, oh, maybe this thing's going to happen, and it doesn't happen. It's like, oh well, that's the end of that, and then bang,
and bang
like
again.
5 years later.
Yeah. Well, like you and me, but
exactly.
talked for a long time ago, no, and then it didn't, and then now here we are, probably even more than 5 years ago, I would think.
I can't.
So what was the original conversation between you two?
I can't remember. I
It
think I
was
saw your pedal.
Was it Matt Pryor?
Matt Pryor had.
Yeah.
Did he do a video on
the small trees? Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
and I think
that was about 5 years ago.
That's a long time ago.
That's
wasn't
when
it?
I first moved in here.
At least, yeah, at
I
least.
remember you just that was that.
Okay.
And I think I was doing a tour, and I was just, and I think that's when the whole pedal thing kicked off as well, didn't it? Because now it's
insane.
There must be 3,000 pedals in the Andertons cabinet. I mean,
I saw it just as we were walking past,
Yes.
and it was pretty mind-boggling.
yeah, and that's just in then out the back, and then at the warehouse. You're going, what? I mean, and every day there's just new pedals coming in, and it's really difficult to,
Can it keep going? Do you think?
I don't know. I think the thing is with pedals is that it's kind of, you can get them from 29 quid up to 3, 5, 4, 5, 6, 700 quid. You can get them, and people would rather spend a couple of 100 quid or thereabouts on a pedal every month because they're going to budget for gear. It's not like you buy a new amp every month or a new guitar every month, but you might get that pedal and you think, oh, that's pretty interesting, I'm just going to look at that pedal or that pedal, and it's 199 quid or whatever, and you buy it and then you play it a bit and you put it in your cabinet and maybe you sell it, whatever. But it's kind of, I think that's fine. People I think that's why it's such an alive, the whole thing is so alive,
There are lots of tube screamer variants, and I wonder how many of those. What's saturation point for those?
Yeah.
Is that it just? I don't particularly care because I don't have a vested interest in it, but it's really interesting to me to see how many different kind of variations you can
Tube
have.
Screamer and Timmy and
Yeah.
there can probably be many more.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
I think we can expect many more coming. And there was the whole thing about pedals getting smaller.
Yeah.
And that was a massive thing. And everybody run out getting smaller pedals, and now it's like, oh, okay, now I'm just gonna, is it? So
And the Benson preamp, that's big, isn't it?
Oh, the little Benson. No, that's that size.
Oh, is it?
But the
Really
Benson.
small? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a normal.
Sliders. Who's that?
Oh, the
that's-
Chase Bliss.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
well, that's not out yet,
No.
But then now it's all about weird pedals, like the Mood one Chase Bliss has brought out, like
Yeah.
a loop thing, and you loop
Well,
something
that's a
in.
collaboration, isn't it?
Yeah, with
Blood
Blood
Noise
Noise.
and
Chase Bliss.
Roller.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
Chase Bliss has made it, right?
Yeah.
So it's those kind of pedals are now coming out where it's more of a. We've just got the old Tyscos come back, Tysco pedals.
Yeah,
so we've got.
I saw those. Those
So
are amazing.
well, they look really cool, They and the fact they look different. The chassis is a different.
Yeah.
It's a different box, and it's a boost and a fuzz with an octave up and an octave down, and it's a delay pedal. I mean, it's not the most sort of it's the Messiah come down with a tone.
Yeah.
It's really simple kind of thing. The delay is really cool. It's got like a fast and a slow modulation kind of thing, and it can do crazy stuff with it. And we did a video yesterday. It was fun, and they look cool, so they will probably sell.
What kind of price are they?
129, and they're 149 for the delay, I think.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
Bucket Brigade, analog, this and that, and silicon fuzz, and it's possible to make those pedals. If you make a lot of them in the Far East, you can make them cheap. You got one guy has to solder it all together, then it's going to cost more money.
Expensive, yeah.
If somebody has to fold the chassis up, like the Dane, for instance, somebody has to make that, and then they have to paint that, and then they have to still screen that, and it's all one guy. And then Thorby has to sit there, his wife sit and solder the stuff in there. Then that takes time and it costs money. And then if you, then you have to pay for it. If
You have, and I think now because of social media and all of those ways of telling your story in inverted commas, people understand that it's more expensive because it's one guy or a team, a very small team doing all of that stuff, and they kind of like that. And like you said, Lee likes to buy British manufacturers, like to support them. Not that he doesn't like other people, but he
small
likes
manufacturers
to
as well.
Small manufacturers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he respects what they're doing.
Absolutely, and people that are nice. I mean, the Danish done really well, and it wasn't. It's like who think that if you you know, who plays guitar for, you know, say Taylor Swift or for Madonna, or, you know, those guys are out there doing the thing, you know, or Bruno Mars or whoever it is, the big acts that goes out on tour properly with big acts. They don't have a signature pedal. It's the guy on YouTube that's gonna get one, and it's really weird. And you never, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, you've as our good friend Justin Guitar says, you know, you got the bathtub, and you try and you never know what you have, but you're trying to open all those taps a little bit, you know. And if you can make something that you believe in, like I really do think that the Dane is an awesome pedal, and I use it on my board, for instance. It's not like I made a pedal just to make a bit of money and then I never use it, put it on one side. I did it because Adrian was like, let's make something cool, but only if you're going to use it. And Lee was like, only do this if this is something that you actually... And it doesn't matter if we sell 3 or we sell 300 of them. You know, that's not your goal here. It's just to make something that you would use. And if it doesn't sell, you're still going to use it and it's going to be great. Like, okay, let's try to do that. You know? And then the people like it, it's great, you know. Of course, it helps having an outlet for things like that. But that's what everybody are looking for these days, is that outlet, the social media wrap out of, you know, which I never ever thought it was going to be a part of all that stuff. But it just, you know, Mick and Dan, for instance, that pedal, that pedal show, the D&M drive, sold thousands of the pedal, you know, and it's a great pedal. It's really, really good. But people trust them because they know what they're talking about. You know? And that's really cool. And people support. It's also about supporting, you know, because it's not cheap to run. And Andertons, for instance, we got 3 people working on the YouTube. We've got 3 channels now. We got 1 channel back. We got 3 YouTube channels that we make content for, and we film between anything between 5 and 30 videos a week. That all has to be edited and all has to be uploaded and all has to be, you know, audio has to be done and all this stuff. And it used to be me and ideas has to be done and all that stuff. And people in and out and gear, and there's a lot of stuff going on, you know. And then we've got a whole house with 4 studios, you know, and we got expensive cameras, we got lighting, we got, you know, 3 iMacs and expensive audio gear and microphones, and, you know, and that is not cheap to run. It's not cheap to have 3 full-time people a month, you know. So, you know, kind of, you know, what you make in ad revenue is nothing compared to what it costs to run it. That's just it's a part of a marketing budget, you know. Where people like Mick and Dan they really need the help and the support from patrons or people to buy the t-shirts so they can, you know. And that's what most people do on YouTube. They don't make money on YouTube, you know. You can support your you can supplement, what do you call, supplement with other things, and that's kind of supporting you as a, you know, I don't know, but people are really nice about it, you know. People buy backing tracks, and, you know, we give a lot to charity, and I'm just rambling on here, you know, but I know it's the way of trying to make a living. Instead of, and that's become a thing now. Instead of being a musician now, people are just thinking, I'm just going to be a musician on YouTube because I can make money out of doing a video, and instead I don't have to go and worry about there's a gig. I can do a video on a pedal or whatever, and the company will pay for this video, and it's cheaper for me to do a video which goes out to the whole world and it's there forever than it is to put an ad in a magazine, for instance. We all know how expensive it is to put an ad in a magazine. Outrageously expensive, you know.
And the problem is that the advertising via making a YouTube video is kind of self-selecting, because you in a magazine you might not meet the demographic that needs to see you. So the people buying the magazine may not be the kind of people that will really get what you're doing.
Yes.
Whereas on YouTube, with all of the kind of suggested videos and all that kind of stuff, or people sharing it with other people, have you seen this new whatever it is? Widget. Check it out, you really like it. And then someone posts a thing of it on Instagram, and then all of their followers see it. And they share it, and then, you know, I got this thing and check this out, and exactly, and that's what it is, you know, and it's a completely brave new world for me as well, you know. I would never thought that I would have a
signature pedal
Yeah.
ever. And I
It's
didn't.
cool, though.
It is really cool. It is super cool, you know. But I just
Do you deserve a signature model because you're a really great player, or because you've got a fancy gig?
I mean,
You know
that's
what I
a,
mean?
that's a that yeah, but that is that, you know, that's the. I mean, I'm not gonna blow my own trumpet, but I think for coming from where I've kind of done my dues
Paid your
being
dues,
a
yeah.
musician and doing the touring thing, and you know, I've toured the world. I've been on, you know, played with some amazing acts and been really lucky to get that part of it. So I kind of, you know, I've got a good CV, but you know that doesn't give you a signature pedal, and unless you are huge or a signature guitar or whatever. But these days, that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
You know, I know people who are in the film industry, and they will look at actors, and the first thing they ask the actor is, how many followers have you got on Instagram? Because they know that the actor, let's say The Rock, for instance, now the new Jumanji film is coming out, Jack Black is posting out the new trailer for, together, those two together have got millions of followers, and on their YouTube channels and on this stuff, and there are millions of people who watch it. So they know that already then it's worth getting the guy, and that they'd rather take that person than that. And I don't know if that's wrong or not, you know. I just know that I've kind of done the dues. I know the score. I've been through the mud, up and downs of being a session guy, and it's not fun, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a great time. I mean, I played in Las Vegas for like twice, 20 days or 18 dates every night with Tom in the Hollywood Theatre MGM Grand.
Wow.
And it's like you're playing up, and there's Tom Jones, and you're going, how did this fucking happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Las Vegas, you know, and then you're having a drink with them afterwards. I'm like, how did this happen? So, which I'm, you know, again, really just grateful for that I've had the opportunity to do that. Yeah. But now, I think, I don't know. It's really it's like Twilight Zone. It really is.
And where does it go from here?
I
That's
don't
the
know.
interesting-
I don't know. Something with you guys, hopefully.
That'd be weird.
Yeah. Are you looking at time? Oh my God! It's
What
6
time is
o'clock. Almost.
Is it?
Quarter to 6. The time flies. We're having fun.
It does.
It does.
Right.
Yeah. No, I don't know what's happened. I mean, at the moment, I'm just doing the YouTube stuff and backing tracks and working on other little bits and pieces. And when people ask, you know, actually, I think the pedal was one of those things where people said, "How do I get that tone you've got? How can you?" I'm like, well, I don't really know, but maybe we can do something so people can actually at least get close to it.
Yeah.
And you know, there might be a few more of those kind of things happening. Who knows? Because that's at the end of the day, I just want people to have fun and smile, play a bit of guitar.
Yeah.
Be nice. Just be nice.
Just be nice, man. That's
Read the second coming. The second coming. Go and get that. That's funny, man. That's a good book.
Yeah, I'm definitely on that one.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be great, man. We just take it one day at a time. I think more coffee, more guitars, and then see what happens.
What's not to like?
What's not to like?
Cool. Thank you very much.
That's fine. Thank you, guys. Absolutely.
Bearing
Pleasure.
heat.
It's
Yes.
I think we need to
Well,
get that thing on now.
Still with the jumper.
Still with the jumper. I'm holding it. I'm holding it
Yeah,
on.
but look, that he's got extra
I've got
venting.
ventilation.
Thanks, man.